And I would love to get to the point where we talk about the distinction between, well, what exactly is our narcissistic personality disorder? How do you know? How can you tell? But before we get to that, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe, I don't know, a backstory of how you
Hmm.
got into this field and working with this population in the first place.
Sure. So one of my first jobs out of graduate school is I worked in a hemodialysis unit. That's for people who have kidney failure. So they have to go to this facility 3 times a week for 4 hours per treatment to sit on a machine that acts like an artificial kidney, in short. So there's a segment of the population who tend to skip and shorten their dialysis sessions, which really increases morbidity and mortality. So the staff, the nurses, and the doctors are always trying to get the patient to be more compliant, to come to all their treatments and stay for the full duration. And what I noticed is that wasn't working. And then giving the patients education was not working. So more education didn't solve the problem. So in short, I designed a research study. It was part of my dissertation where I gave an intervention, which was a psychodynamic approach that I subscribe to today. But in short, I sat with them to try to understand what's behind what they were calling non-compliance so that I can help them. And overall, what I began to discover was that there was an incredible amount of denial about the reality of having a serious medical illness. And when you start getting close to these patients and listening to the subjective experiences of what it's like to live on dialysis and how they much rather be at Atlantic City, let's say, gambling, which is far more entertaining and stimulating than sitting in a dialysis unit getting yelled at and told that you're not compliant, of course, that's far more appealing. So coincidentally, I didn't know at the time, but these characteristics that they were exhibiting were very similar to what we call narcissistic traits or characteristics. The extent to which they live in a fantasy, the appeal towards things that are exciting and fun, rather than sitting in what's a painful reality, which is the recognition that, they need this treatment, this life-sustaining treatment.